Okay, good afternoon, everybody. As promised, I'm here to talk about um, real estate investing and some of the programs that are available, possible pitfalls to look out for, that kind of thing. In my last video about scams, I mentioned real estate guru training, which Kim and I were uh, involved with a few years ago. And I need to clarify that um, these guru trainings, I call them guru trainings, they're not a scam per se from the standpoint of they're going to take your money and not give you anything like most true scams are. But what they are going to do is take a ridiculous amount of money from you and they're not going to deliver what they promise you. What they're really going to do is try to keep selling you more stuff, more mentoring, upselling, constantly upselling to get you to buy more stuff. And the bottom line is the training you get is going to be slightly better than useless. And more importantly, can be had for a whole lot less money from people in a local market. And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. So some of you may be saying, well, why am I doing this? Okay, a couple reasons. First off, I want to give all of you some additional resources to check into real estate investing, find out what it is, what it isn't, what you can do to make money with it. I see I've got quite a reflection on my glasses. What you can do to make money on it, and things not to do to make money. Some of the resources that I have found to be useful in terms of gathering information is BiggerPockets. Okay, BiggerPockets has a lot of good information. They do have some training, but they don't push it very hard. Mostly they just give out information and it's free. Better Business Bureau, Ripoff Report, that's a website. Federal Trade Commission, I've talked about the FTC before, and they have a pretty comprehensive website, but the problem is they don't get specifically into these real estate training classes. So you're not going to get much, if any, information about them. Similarly, various states' Department of Consumer Affairs and the district attorney's office or anything like that, state attorney's office. They may have some, but I have not found them to be very fruitful in terms of my search. And another source is local Real Estate Investor Alliance, or REIA, meetings. Now, I will say that you need to be careful there for a couple reasons. First off, some of these guys are really just pushing more training, and they're not giving you the support that you really need. Unfortunately, it happens, but it's definitely not that prevalent, and it's not that expensive. So if you're not getting what you feel like you need, you can always go elsewhere, and you haven't mortgaged your soul. But that said, local REIAs, like here in the greater Tampa Bay area, we have Beach REIA, TB REIA or Tampa Bay REIA, Tampa REIA, which is a separate one, and a few others. Okay. Now, one thing I want to clarify, there is another group out there, I'll mention this again later, it's called National Association of Real Estate Investors, or NARI. NARI is not the same thing, and it is, in my opinion, a scam, and they're using the same model as all these other real estate investors, real estate investor training courses. Now, what I'm not doing, I'm not selling anything. I have nothing to offer. As I like to say, if you're looking for a little knowledge, I have as little as one. Okay, I've learned a great deal over the last couple of years, but I'm by no means an expert, not by any stretch of the imagination a guru or anything else. I'm still learning, some of it the hard way, like buying one of these courses. So I'm not selling anything. And I'm also not discouraging anyone from getting into real estate investing. Okay. It's often said that more millionaires are made in real estate investing than in any other industry. Well, there's some truth in that. Problem is, most of the millionaires are the guys selling these courses, not the people doing the investing. I know people that are investors. They have done well for themselves. How many of them are millionaires, I can't say, but I can tell you that it is a long, slow process. Is it possible that you could make millions in one deal? Is it possible that you could make several $1,000,000 in 1 year? Sure, anything's possible. Is it probable? No. Um, it's just it's a lot of hard work, and learning how to do this is going to be the thing that takes the most time. Now, when I talk about these so-called guru courses, there are a number of them that have been around for decades. Carleton Sheets, some of you may remember the old no money down thing. Certainly, anybody that's not living under a rock and in a vacuum has heard of Trump University. A lawsuit was filed against him by the state of New York, okay, or against Trump University, because it wasn't a true university and it didn't qualify. Armando Montalongo, Robert Kiyosaki, Abundance EDU, and that's the one that Kim and I did. And their face was Scott Yancey from HGTV's Flipping Vegas. It is now called Affluence EDU. It appears to be the same company, just wearing different lipstick. And as I mentioned, NARI, National Association of Real Estate Investors. Kim and I paid to go to a tax deed sale course, and it was supposed to be a one-day course. We got there. The instructor not only was a sub, because the original guy couldn't make it for whatever reason, he was almost 2 hours late showing up, and it turned into nothing but a big sales pitch. And that really ticked us off. Now, all these programs use the exact same business model, and I suspect probably the same business model that they've been using for decades. It starts off with a free 1 to 2 hour talk about real estate investing. Typically will include a free lunch, which basically amounts to a not so great sandwich from a local deli, but it's free. What are you going to do? The sales pitch is for a 1997 3-day workshop, $1,997. So basically $2,000 for a 3-day workshop. Now, $2,000 for a 3-day workshop, if you're actually learning stuff, isn't bad. Now, you're not going to learn a hell of a lot about real estate investing in 3 days. I can tell you that from experience. You will learn some, and the training will be worthwhile, but you're not going to get $2,000 worth of training. To make matters worse, you're going to get a 3-day sales pitch. Okay. Now, during that 3-day workshop, they're going to talk about the concepts of real estate investing. They're going to talk about sales, wraparound mortgages and subject twos, and buy and hold strategies, and rehab and flip and wholesaling and all other kinds of stuff. They're going to talk about the concepts. They are not going to get into any of that stuff in any detail because A, they really can't, and B, that is the objective. The objective is to push the additional training, which is going to range from $18,000 to $30,000, depending on what level you buy into at. And this is where they make all their promises and tell you everything they're going to do for you, how they're going to support you, the money that's going to be available. It's all a bunch of BS. It's not there. They're not going to support you. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They're not real estate investors. They're salespeople. Okay, and that's the bottom line. If they were that busy selling real estate, they wouldn't have time to come and yap at you about buying into their program. And if they've got that much time, they're making their money selling the programs, not real estate investing. Okay, real estate investors, like I said, can make good money. In the wholesaling arena, which is the market is so saturated right now with wholesalers that it's insane. You can make anywhere from a couple thousand to five, maybe even $10,000 on a rare occurrence, 15 to 20,000 on a wholesale deal. Those are extremely rare. 2 to 5,000 is going to be the norm. They're hard to get for a couple reasons. First off, the market is really heating up, which means everybody is after the same deals. And when I say everybody, I mean every real estate investor, every wholesaler, every up and comer. They're all looking for the same deals. You got, for every deal that's out there, you got probably 1,000 or 1,500 people minimum looking at that same deal. They're going to drive the price up, okay? Because the guys that actually have the money and really know what they're doing know where they can cut it off. They'll pay more for it, and they'll resell it. Now, the problem, as I mentioned, with the local real estate investor meetings, and this is another area that you have to be careful of, is sometimes, unfortunately, real estate investors, even experienced ones, pay too much for their properties. And when they do that, they want to find the newcomers in these RIA meetings and sell them the properties that are over that they paid too much money for. And I've seen it happen. I've been approached with a couple of them. You need to learn what you're doing and how to do it before you ever put down one penny. And that's going to require some training, reading books. You know, one of the things that they talk about in these training courses is getting a team together. Well, you need a team of a good real estate agent or broker who will take you and help guide you, not try to sell you something. You need a title agent who is very familiar with how all of this stuff works and is good in their field, okay? Not somebody that's going to try to sell you anything, just somebody that can guide you, okay? So what are some of the biggest pitches they use? All these training programs, no money down. Hard to do, but not impossible. There are a lot of potential legal issues, okay? And more states are cracking down on these programs or on the methods. They're not stopping the training themselves, they're just stopping the methods that are being taught. Wholesaling, another one that's getting to be more and more problematic for a couple reasons. One, like I said, everybody and their brother's doing it. The other problem is some states like Ohio have banned or outlawed wholesaling. You can't do it anymore. Okay, and even in Florida, where I live and where it's legal, you have to be very, very careful about how you structure the deal and structure the contract, because it is against the law in every state that I'm aware of to sell a piece of real estate that you do not have an interest in it. That means that you don't own it or your name isn't on the deed or something like that. Now, if you have a contract to buy, you can assign that contract, and that's what wholesaling is. It is legal to assign the contract, but if you don't do it right, you can get yourself into a whole lot of legal trouble, okay? And, you know, because the market's saturated, everybody's looking at the same deals. Some guys know what they're doing, some don't, all right? The other problem here is some of the methods that are being taught for wholesaling are either unethical, which are taking other guys' bandit signs, and bandit signs are the ones that you see along the road that say, 3-2 block, 29K cash, move in now. Chances are that house doesn't really exist, but that's one of the tactics that guys use to get people to call. The other one is in many counties, as far as I know, as far as I can tell, every county in Florida actually has ordinances against placing bandit signs. So you go out and you put out a whole bunch of these bandit signs, and the county comes along behind you and takes them all down and throws them in the trash. It's very possible that they're going to send you a bill for the county employees' time, and their hourly rate times about 10 to take down your bandit signs and throw in the trash. Okay, so you need to be careful there. You can go knocking on doors. Again, everybody and their brother is knocking on doors. It's hard to do, but it can be done. Mail campaigns. Mail campaigns are extraordinarily expensive. And for every deal that you get, you could easily spend $1,000 to $2,000 on mailing flyers and brochures and all that, and if you spend $1,000 and get a $1,500 deal, you just made $500 and probably spent 2 months doing it. You can make more money driving for Uber. Okay. Funding. This is one of the big sales pitches that these guru training courses give. We're going to fund your deals. No, they aren't. It's all a bunch of BS. Yes, there's hard money funding available, and there's transactional funding. Transactional funding means they're going to lend you the money for 24 to 72 hours. It's going to cost you a lot of money to get that, and qualifying for it is extremely difficult. In terms of getting longer term funding, like to do a rehab and flip, it's one of those deals where if you had the money to meet their qualifications, you wouldn't need any money. Okay, so and then the last thing is they allude to how you're going to make millions of dollars fast. You're not going to. Not likely. I shouldn't say you're not going to. You aren't likely to. Okay, not to say again that it can't be done, but it's very, very rare. I know of some cases where guys just stumbled on a deal. It was just right time at the right place, and all the planets and stars lined up in a perfectly straight line, and so that allowed it to happen. It doesn't happen very often that way. Okay, it's going to take years and years and years of hard work and training and constantly adjusting, because as the market changes, you're going to have to change with it. Okay, so now the other reason I'm doing these videos on not just on this, but on scams in general, is because, when Kim and I realized that we had basically been cheated out of over $30,000 on this real estate training, I went to the Federal Trade Commission and the Better Business Bureaus and the state's attorney, or the Attorney General of Florida, the Better Business Bureau of Utah and Nevada. And I was very frustrated that the government agencies, whom I thought were responsible for, being our watchdog, seemed almost disinterested. And now that I've gotten on the mailing list from the Federal Trade Commission, as well as some others, I realize that the government cannot possibly keep up with everything that's going on. And they have to hit the biggest ones first, the ones that are just outright scams and taking money, and, like some of the ones in the past have been taking money for, one of the more recent ones is education department. Okay, people are claiming that they're working through the Department of Education to get student loan debt reduced or eliminated. Well, they take your money and it's bye-bye baby, because you never see them again. It turns out most of them are overseas, and there's the other problem. The government can't do anything about it. They're in Nigeria or Timbuktu or something, and the government just doesn't have that far a reach. So the information is out there, but most people don't know about it or don't know where to look for it. I certainly didn't. So that's why I'm doing these, is to give you information, where to go look for it, some possible sources, and just to give you some ideas of what's going on with these guru classes. I mentioned Abundance EDU was the one we used, and the newest one is Affluence, and I think it's the same company with the just different color lipstick. But Scott Yancey, some of you probably remember seeing his show Flipping Vegas. He was the face for Abundance EDU. Christina and Tarek El-Moussa from Flip or Flop are their advertising programs. I'm not sure what their level of involvement is or which program it is, but they're also doing it. And there are people from probably every single one of the shows that are on HGTV or A&E that do these programs that are pushing, or at least the front piece, are getting paid to be the face for these training programs. Okay, and I'm here to tell you, they've all made money doing real estate investing, with the exception of the occasional really lucky hit. Most of them have done it in very small increments. And I'm going to close on this one last thing, and this is something that you need to keep in mind that's very important. If you do this, the first thing that you need to learn, in addition to how to do real estate investing and what not to do, maybe even more importantly, is understand how to structure your business. Okay, because if you don't structure your business correctly, the government, the federal government, the IRS is going to take the biggest part of your profit. Okay, it's hard enough making money as it is. We don't need to be handing it all over to the IRS. So be sure that you learn how to structure the business properly. Your best bet is probably going to be to sit down with a CPA that is used to working with real estate investors. Okay, they're gonna and spend a little bit of money with a real estate attorney. Okay, and I'm going to put in a shameless plug for the attorney that we use. His name is oh shoot, I just drew a blank. Well, I'll think of it in a minute. Anyway, Stan Galewski, Galewski Law Group in Tampa. Okay, it looks like Galuski, but or Galewski. Stan is a really good guy, and he will steer you right, and he's not that expensive as compared to what most attorneys. And most importantly, he's going to give you the straight scoop, and he will help you out of trouble. So talk to an attorney. Make sure you get all your tax stuff squared away. Make sure you get your business structure squared away correctly so that you don't get into trouble and you get to keep the money in your pocket. And most importantly, get local training. Okay, the guys that are doing it locally, even though a lot of them, in my opinion, are full of BS, and most of them are big BSers, and they got egos bigger than most large rooms. Many of them are good and know what they're doing, and they can help you, they can guide you, they can teach you, and most importantly, it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, and they'll probably keep you out of trouble, and that's really what you want to do. So anyway, I'll be doing more of these as more scams, real scams pop up on the radar, things that I think we need to be aware of, like the latest one is the Lowe's coupon. I saw that just the other day from the Federal Trade Commission. So, be careful, everybody, and don't depend on the government to take care of you because they can't do it. There are just too many people and too many scams and too many ways of screwing you out of your money, and they just can't keep up with it. So, anyway, have a good day, and we'll see you later.